in the right direction.
But again, I just want to make it clear, and I understand you're not a spokesman for the NRA, although they did appoint you to run this task force on school safety. You're saying that you would support expanding the background check to include non-dealer sales at gun shows and also, for instance, sales on the Internet, which are now not covered.
Well, I can't speak to all of those just because, you know, it's all in the fine print. These are very difficult things to accomplish an objective without burdening the average citizen and bringing the government intrusively into their lives. But we also, and so I think you have to look at the language. I could look certainly at the gun shows and the sales that surround that in that environment. If we can make sure that there's a comprehensive check and we can keep criminals from obtaining guns in that environment, then those checks would seem appropriate.
Let me ask you about this, because instead of expanding background checks, the NRA is talking about limiting them even further. They're saying, and in fact they have put forward legislation that some opponents of the president's plan are now supporting, that would say that if you're a veteran or someone else who has been deemed to be mentally ill and therefore would fail a background check, if you are said to have recovered, that you would then be able to get a gun. Do we really want to open that door?
Well, Chris, this is where the president has taken the debate totally in the wrong direction. I really believe that our focus should be on the school safety. That's an objective that is we can accomplish. It's not that difficult to increase safety. It's not even the most substantial cost measures that a local school has to do. And whatever you do in terms of legislation, even if you had all your universal background check, bad guys are going to get guns, and it's not going to solve the problem in the schools, and it's not going to diminish the need for greater security in the schools. So our report, I hope that becomes the focus of the debate, because that's what's going to solve problems long-term for the safety of our children.
Well, I understand that, and obviously Newtown was a precipitating event, but you would certainly agree that making schools safer is going to do nothing to protect the average citizen going to the movies or going to a shopping mall or in a playground, or even the kids on the school bus going to school.
Well, you can't address all the problems of society. I mean, you're talking about why do we have a violent society? Is it video games? Is it the mental health issues? And how do you deal with those? And no, I mean, government has certain responsibilities in transportation and protection. Education is a special environment. But you can't expect the federal government to solve this problem, because it's not solvable in that fashion. It's dealing with the hearts and minds of people. It's dealing with giving people the ability to protect themselves. And so you talk about movie theaters, you talk about on the streets. These are law enforcement issues primarily, but it's also societal problems that have to be addressed. Let's take one thing at a time, and after Newtown, the focus has been schools safety. Let's get this right.
In the couple of minutes we have left, why do you think it is that President Obama's efforts to prevent more acts of violence appears like it's going to accomplish so little?
Well, because it's, to me, a political agenda. It's more divisive to America. And the wonderful Newtown parents that have gone through such a incredible tragedy, they have not even reached unity among themselves on what needs to be done, because America is divided on that point. But there is a unity that, whether it's mental health concerns that we can do better on, or whether it is providing more safety for our children in schools, that's the crying need of our country, and that's something we can agree upon very readily. There's no dispute about that, but very little has been done, and so I'm disappointed the President has not focused the debate on the right issue for America.
And less than 30 seconds left, just picking up on that, what do you think the President should have done differently after Newtown?
Well, I think that he should have come across with a strong program on school safety. You look at the Senate bill right now, it's $40 million. That's not going to solve anything. And because and so I would like to see the President say, we want to have each of the school districts to do more in safety, the states to be engaged in it, and the federal government can provide additional support for technology grants. I think they open up the Homeland Security Grant Fund, which is even more money. And also, we have 3 different agencies involved. Let's get it more organized and greater leadership.